and I'm welling up in pride, and it feels so good to be helping to facilitate protests. And I'd like to say, you are more powerful than we can ever deal with. You have more power than the nuclear power plant. I say hey, you say ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. I say fracking, you say no, fracking, no, fracking, no, fracking, no, fracking, no, fracking, no. Okay, I'm going to introduce you. Sorry, I've had flatulence problems since last night. I'm going to introduce a very special guest. We've got loads of campaigners. We've got loads of campaigners, and there we go. Our first one up is Gazer Frack Man. Gazer Frack Man, Force from the North. Give it up for Gazer Frack Man. Okay, we're just showing unity to the people of Balkan, all the way from Lancashire. Come on! We've been through it. What's happening today? We are making noise. We're making a lot of noise. We're making so much noise that Quadrilla can hear us. We're making so much noise that the coalition can hear us. And what we're saying loud and clear, we do not need shale gas. We do not need to be told that you are having shale gas. Not in Balkan, not in Scotland, not in Ireland, not in England, not in the world. We do not need shale. We don't need it. We just don't need it. We know the problems. We know the problems. We don't need to be told about that. It's insurmountable. All the evidence is against shale. The only people that want it are the government and Quadrilla and the fracking companies. They're the only people driving this forward. They are now taking on grandmas, granddads, bakers. They're taking on the normal, but they're not taking on the unions like Thatcher did. They're taking you on. They're taking children on. They're taking students on. This is wrong. This has to stop. This is unacceptable. Today, we stop it. I'm going to get a bit emotional now. 3 weeks ago, I turned up down here and I saw Quadrilla's army. Some of the people in Sussex police don't want to be doing this. 1 or 2 of them are giving them a bad name. Okay? They have got children, they have got families, they know that we are doing this for them. We are not the enemy. We need a voice. We have a voice. The truth needs a voice. Got it right this time. Just to let you know, everybody, right, next place is going to be coming, they'll be coming up to Lancashire. They've already had 50% fail rate. This is not acceptable. Why the government letting a company carry on that's got a 50%? Because they think they're going to get the money. 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, it ain't going to happen. Alright, now we can only do this together. We can only do, now last week it was Balkan. 2 weeks ago it was Balkan people down here, mainly Balkan people, along with the protesters. Alright, we're all getting on, we all know what we're doing, we're all going in the right direction. Last week, there were people from all different areas in this area. That now our voice is being heard. Now they're listening to us. Now they know about it. And when they offer you £100,000 to frack next to you, question it, because a lot of people are now. If you can oppose a wind turbine next to you and you're going to get £100,000 to have those frackings, there must be something wrong. People by the thousands now are coming onto the internet. People are asking questions. By the thousands now going, what's this thing about fracking? What is it? And as we know, once you get into it, you know that no good is going to come of this whatsoever. This will stop. We will win. This will change government. This is how big it is. It's not about Shell now, not just about fracking. This is bigger than that. 4, 3, 4, Lancashire. Force from the north. Force from the north.
Renewable energy. Okay, wicked, thank you. Next up, I've got a very special voice, a very important voice, somebody who's been drawing so many of these energies together, and I know many of you and love her work. She's from Britain and Ireland, Frack Free. Please give it up for Vanessa Vine!
The force for the North is here, Ireland's here, Poland's here, Somerset's here. Who else is here? Everywhere. Okay, this is bigger than Volcom, as Gazer says. This is a critical precedent for the whole of the UK. 60%. Okay, louder. This is bigger than Volcom. Can you hear me? Yes. This is a critical precedent for the whole of the UK. And potentially the planet, certainly for Europe. There is a reality here that we are in the south, we are close to London, the media comes here. When Quadrilla fracked in Lancashire, there was very little attention on it. This company, Quadrilla, who keep creating sub-companies that have no money, that won't be able to pay when they cause damage, like Quadrilla Balcom Limited, that's got about £12,000 in its account, have a 50% failure rate in Lancashire. They continued to frack a damaged well. They got ministerial reprimand for that, it's on record. They were censured by the Advertising Standards Authority for misrepresenting facts in leaflets to residents. They continued drilling beyond permissions that were put in place to protect wildlife, overwintering birds. They trespassed on people's lands. They are cowboys, they are inept, they've got their drill bits in there, they've got toxic drilling mud in there. This is right by a main railway line. They caused earthquakes. Gazer's house was cracked 10 miles away. This industry causes earthquakes. It's less than a mile from the reservoir and the river. It's 2.5 miles, for heaven's sake, from the Millennium Seed Bank, subterranean global resource. This technology causes earthquakes. Do not listen to our invested ministers, the likes of Peter Lilly and George Osborne and Boris Johnson. Yeah, quite right, shame on them. They are negligent. They either haven't done the research, which they bloody well should have done because they are empowered to protect us, or they are willfully lying. They are telling us, don't believe them, please. This is the message we have to get out, because the media and the BBC are neutering it, and they're pushing out the message that this has been going on for decades. It hasn't. It's a novel technology. It's far more dangerous. It's far greater pressure. You can't hear me. Okay, I don't want to, if I shout, it'll, Thank you, everyone, for coming. 2 years ago, I came here with 3 people and looked at this site and thought they couldn't possibly do it. They're bloody doing it. And don't believe that they're not fracking. Their planning permission gives them provision to frack. Their acid etching is a euphemism. It's quite possible there is a form of fracturing. Whatever it is potential ecocide. We've got red kites, dormice, great-crested newts in the woodpile. Where are the authorities that are supposed to be protecting wild ecology and people? These people in uniforms here, most of whom are really nice human beings, some of whom are behaving like thugs, frankly, but most of them aren't. Their oath, they take an oath to protect life and property. The people who tell them what to do are making them physically force through corporate ecocidal interests. Do not listen to industry government when it says there is no evidence of harm. Google the list of the harmed. Can you hear me now? I know we've got a helicopter. The list of the harmed from Pennsylvania. It'll tell you just how this hurts people. So we got the force from the north. They are here because we've got Ribble Estuary against fracking, which was the first group after frack-off. We've got Residents' Action on Filed Fracking, Frack Free Somerset. We've got Ireland, we've got people, so I started Frack Free Sussex a year and a half ago, and then a year ago I started BIF, which is Britain and Ireland frack free. Oh, look who's here! The turtles! Okay, turtles, Mother Earth, that's what we're here for. However you want to phrase it, whether you want to call it hippy-dippy language, whatever, we are born of this planet. We are here to protect the water, the air, the soil that gives us sustenance, that gives us life. This industry threatens to contaminate that and thereby our bloodstreams. There is no excuse for it. It won't lower energy bills. Ofgem, Deutsche Bank, even Quadrilla's PR have admitted it won't lower energy bills. That's bollocks. Don't listen to them. The bribes for Balcom equate to £150 a household. Why do they need to bribe us if this is okay? So what I can hope for after 2 years screaming about this, and hallelujah, thank Goddess, look how many people are here. This is just, look at this, look at this. Look at yourselves. Look how bloody beautiful you are. You're not anarchists, people trying to hijack a protest. You're here because you know this is wrong. And you're here because you know this is a precedent for the whole country. And the more noise we make now, and the more media attention we get now, and the more we speak the truth, where people can hear it, the more we have a chance that... So my vision is that the shareholders, the shareholders, literally, so it's raining, it's water. Yeah, that's what we're there to protect.
Tell the police it's going to affect their kids as well. Some of us are anarchists, by the way.
Okay, completely off my thread now. No. Okay, so the vision is that the shareholders literally lose interest. We make this so prohibitively expensive and such bad PR that they invest instead in safe, renewable energy technologies. It's raining.
Can we hear one more time for the awesome words of Vanessa Vine? Awesome words, superb work, this is beautiful. Okay, so it started raining a little bit. Are we bothered by that? I'd like to make a quick announcement, quick safety announcement. There's a little kid called Austin over by the gate who's lost his mum. So if you are Austin's mum, make your way through police lines over there to my right and reunite yourself with the rest of your family. We've got so many awesome speakers down here. There are over 40 frack-free groups in this country. We can't unfortunately represent all of them. The next one we got up though is Keith Ross. Please welcome Keith Ross from Frack-Free Wales. Greetings from Frack-Free Wales! Wow, this is awesome, looking at all your faces here, it's amazing. I think this is the biggest audience I've ever spoken to. Fantastic. This is not the first time we've been here. Some of you may know that on the first weekend of this protest, Frances Jenkins and her partner Justin were arrested. And you'll be pleased to know that their ban was overturned and they were back here earlier this week. We were here last weekend, the group came up from Bridgend, and this weekend for Solidarity Sunday. And that's why we're here, to make common cause with the people of Balcom and all of you. But there's a selfish motive here because we're here to support you, because pretty soon we're going to need you to support us. Because in Wales, we're faced with a whole panoply of unconventional gas. We have shale, we have coal bed methane, and we have underground coal gasification. At the moment, there are about a dozen petroleum exploration and development licenses, pedals, for coal bed methane across South Wales. But also, some genius in the Coal Authority has issued a licence for underground coal gasification in the Mucker Estuary, which is just about the most protected habitat in the whole of Wales. It's a site of special scientific interest, It's alongside the Gower area of outstanding natural beauty, and it's the home of significant populations of, internationally significant populations of bird life and marine life. It's a mad idea, and hopefully we're going to fight them off before they even start. Now, of course, people of Wales have not been asleep on this. We have the Frack Free Wales Coalition. We had 3 main groups involved in that, and then about a month ago we had Frack came down and did a public meeting for us in Llanelli, and the following day somebody set up a Facebook group called Frack Llanelli, and within 48 hours they had 1,000 members. A month later they have 2,000 members and rising by the hour. So we have around 2% of the population of Wales already signed up to oppose this stuff. So things are stirring in the valley. Now I'm wondering if there's anyone here from the Daily Mail, because I just want them to know that I am a former officer in the Royal Navy and a holder of the Queen's Commission. I outrank most of those guys over there in yellow. I've also managed the department in local government, and I've worked in the telecommunications industry and as a refugee support worker. I am not a professional agitator. I am someone who cares about the future of this planet, and that is what all of us have in common. Not any of the stupid labels. Not any of the stupid labels that the likes of the Daily Mail try to pin on us. Now, it won't surprise you to know that I'm a grandfather, and that's why I do what I do. I do this for my children's children. So I have a message for Lord Brown, who is former head of BP and now chair of Quadrilla, and for Lord Howell, who thinks that it's okay to frack in the desolate north, east or west, maybe, and for his son-in-law, George Osborne, and his best mate, Honest Dave, our wonderful Prime Minister. If we listen to them and accept that fracking is safe and they're wrong, no amount of money in the world will protect their children's children from the implications of their actions. On the other hand, if they listen to us and accept that fracking is not safe and we're wrong, what's the worst that can happen? Their children's children will grow up in a world with clean air, clean water, clean land. In a world where people are judged by who they are, not what they have, and by what they give, not what they take. Thank you for listening. One more time for Keith Ross. Yeah, I'm gonna. Vanessa's going to make another quick addition to her speech earlier.
Just a clarification, I said we're not anarchists, okay? There are a lot of people here who are anarchists. That was shorthand, because the press is presenting this as a hijacked, gratuitous, anarchic, dark, fascist, but you know what? Sorry, I'm really tired. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't want to offend anybody who's here who is creatively anarchic in its truest sense. In the way I'm becoming, I'm utterly disillusioned with this system that is forcing this through. So, apologies about that, but the message, it is really, really important that people see that these are ordinary, everyday people. Most people here are here because we want to stop unconventional methane exploitation. I also didn't acknowledge Frack-Off. If I hadn't had a meeting with Frack-Off 2 years ago, if they hadn't been doing the research they've been doing tirelessly and getting the truth out about this, we wouldn't have anything like the information we have now. And my answer to all the media and all the people who keep saying, including Peter Lilly, who said it to me on the radio the other night, will you take direct action? Will you do anything unlawful? I haven't. I have no intention to. I'm not exhorting that. But my question is, in the face of this, at what point do we act in self-defense?
Thought-provoking stuff. Thank you, Vanessa. Okay, we've got a visitor who's come all the way from Lewis. It's a giant turtle on wheels with a sound system as a brain. If you're in the way of it, please could you move out of the way, because we're going to move it here and we're going to turn it into our new stage and our new sound system. Oh yes. Big shout out for the giant turtle sound system. We need to turn it around so if you can make as much room as possible so we can turn it around. If you've been inspired by the grassroots movement that's bubbling up over these islands, over fracking, make some noise now! If you're from the north of England, make some noise! If you're from the southwest, make some noise! Yeah! If you're from Wales, make some noise! If you're from Scotland, make some noise! Hey, big up the Scottish! If you're from Ireland, make some noise! Yeah! If you're from the southeast, make some noise! If you're from none of the above, make some noise! Yeah, beautiful! Okay, we've now almost got our stage in place. This thing is absolutely awesome. We've got a few more speakers, guys, and then we're going to do something else very exciting, which I'm going to suggest a bit later. Okay, the idea, just so you're wearing some time on top of that. Charles, you good with it? It is totally secure. I've been around Glastonbury for hours on this thing. Right, one, two. You might. Okay. Please give it up for Charles Metcalf from No Fibs.
Climb up further, Charles.
This is one wobbly turtle. Friends, neighbors, visitors, I live here. I live in Bolton, and the first thing I would like to say is that we are very, very pleased to have you all here. Some sections of the media, some small quavering voices in our community have suggested that we resent the presence of everyone down here who's been in the camp for 3 weeks, who's come here this weekend.
Shame on them!
There have been 2 surveys in our village asking people what they thought about fracking. The first survey was done by the parish council. It said that 82% did not want fracking. The second survey was done by a group of our volunteers, door to door, doorbell to doorbell, knocker to knocker, and has returned a figure of 85% against fracking. Whichever figure you choose to take, that's a pretty thumping majority. There are a few people who don't agree. They're entitled to their opinion, but I'm happy to say the majority of us are absolutely against what is happening there and what is going to go on happening there and what is going to develop into something even nastier over there. We are pleased to have... We didn't invite you here, good guys from Reclaim the Power, but we are heartily happy that you've changed your minds and came to us here. Very much. I mean, Nottingham's loss is our gain. I think we were alerted to this by what happened in Lancashire, and we're very much aware of what they have done, what they are doing. We are in touch with the group there, and we are hugely grateful for all the advice they can give us. I don't know what's going to happen here. I really don't. Quadrilla says one thing and then does another. They are completely, I think the word I'm looking for is untrustworthy. But whatever happens here, it is imperative that this dangerous, nasty, polluting practice, which rapes the earth and pollutes the planet, is not allowed to spread any further.
Yes!
I do not understand, I really do not understand why our government is encouraging this. The only logical intellectual conclusion you can come to is that money is changing hands. I deplore that. I've been several times down to the Reclaim the Power camp. It's a brilliant place. I've been to some of the talks, some of the discussions. I've watched the kids playing and having a fabulous time. I just watched a peaceful community of people who care about the environment actually having a good time, getting together, discussing crucially important things, and enjoying a good weekend. I do hope that it's going to continue like that. We shall continue in our efforts here in Borkum to stop this happening. We're pursuing all the kind of little nooks and crannies we can find in the regulations to stop it. We've delayed those drillers for a while already. We will do our very best to continue doing so. But thank you so much for being here.
Okay, people, make some noise if you've been inspired by all the work that the local campaigners have been doing here. Make some noise if you've been inspired by all the people on the front line who've been living in tents surrounded by all these problems. If these are your glasses and you're wandering around blindly, then come and see me. Next up, we've got two more speakers who are going to be awesome. One of the many people who's been working tirelessly to help make these things happen is Danny Chivers from Reclaim Power. Give it up!
Hello. Hi, yeah, I'm Danny from Reclaim Power, but then you know. Okay, hello, I'm Danny from Reclaim the Power. And all around me are loads of other amazing people from Reclaim the Power. There are loads of people from Reclaim the Power. And we're all just absolutely delighted to be here and to have such a fantastic welcome from the campaigners here in Balkan and all the amazing work that you've been doing. Thank you. So, I mean, we were, you know, there's lots of reasons why we changed our plans, but one of the main reasons why we changed our plans and brought the camp down here was because this is the front line. This battle that's happening here is so important. We've heard why it's important for Balkan, and we've heard why this is important to stop fracking everywhere in the UK and around the world. But it's not just about fracking. This is also part of the global front line, the global battle against fossil fuel extraction around the world. And by taking action here, we are taking action together with people in Nigeria fighting the oil industry, with people in Canada fighting the tar sands, with people all over the world fighting all fossil fuel extractions, because we don't need this stuff. So, really important fact, We now know, there's loads of research, latest assessment from experts. Well, first we've got the International Energy Agency, who are a very conservative organisation, telling us that if we want to avoid utterly disastrous, unstoppable runaway climate change that will leave us with an unrecognisable planet, we have to leave 2/3 of known fossil fuels in the ground. Now, that only gives us a 50-50 chance of avoiding disastrous climate change. So we looked at other experts who give us a better analysis that we need to leave 80% of all known fossil fuels in the ground for a safe climate and a safe future. That's what we're dealing with here. So the idea that we would frack for new fossil fuels is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, what planet do these people think they're living on? Because they're not behaving as though they're living on this one. And the good news is, of course, we don't need this stuff. It is perfectly possible to power the world with a mixture of renewables and sensible energy use. If those of us who are in countries who are using ludicrous amounts of energy went down to a sensible level, let the rest of the world come up to a sustainable level, we'd be fine, we'd power it all with clean energy. You know, the research is there, we know this stuff. And so this battle that we're fighting here is part of a global battle for a safe climate for everybody. And that's why we're here, it's why you're here. We're here to defend this land here. We're here to defend this village here. We're here to defend everybody's climate and everybody's future. And I guess the final thing to say is once again to look around us and to see how many people are here and to remember that a couple of years ago, was this a big issue? Had anyone heard of this? Did people know this was happening? Were people concerned? See how quickly things have grown. None of us expected this many people here today. This is incredible. It's incredible what has happened here. Thank you all for being here. This is amazing. And if it's growing this fast now, where will we be next year? How many thousands will we have at the next proposed fracking site? How many tens of thousands at the one after that? This is going to grow, and it is going to grow, and you're all going to make it grow. And thank you for being here. You're all amazing. Thank you.
One more time for Danny Chivers and Reclaim Power! I'd like to add my voice on behalf of the police force and to say yes, you are amazing. Next up we have the MP for Brighton and Hove. Please make some noise for Caroline Lucas!
We can all be up here and just see how beautiful you all look. It is fantastic to see everybody here. Thank you so, so much. And I want to say that I think we shouldn't doubt that we are sending a loud, loud message to government with our protest here today. Because we are saying loudly and clearly that there is only one place for fossil fuels, and that is in the ground. Tribute to all of those wonderful people who have been fighting this fight for so long. For people like Krakow, for people like Vanessa Vine, for people like the community here in Balcombe, for people like the wonderful people in Lancashire as well, who have been fighting this for years. Thank you very, very much. And we are standing on your shoulders, actually quite literally, here today, because you have helped put this issue at the top of the political agenda. And I want to tell you that Balcombe is absolutely at the front line of the campaign against climate change. Because we know that if we're to have any hope of a livable future, then 2/3 of known fossil fuel reserves have to stay underground. And so the idea of searching for yet more fossil fuels is nothing less than criminal. And that's why we're here to say that democracy looks like.
Yes.
And I can promise you that there is a much better standard of debate in the workshops at the climate camp than you'll ever find at Westminster. But I want to assure you as well that there is at least one voice in Westminster that is raising this issue, that has had a debate with ministers about fracking, and they are still in utter denial about the scale of what's being proposed. But you know, there was one moment when I did begin to see some of the scales fall from the eyes of some of the Tory MPs. And that was when people were talking not about climate change, not about the water stress, not about the local environmental impacts, but simply about the scarring of the landscape that this is going to involve. Because if they don't like the scarring as they see it of wind farms, then they haven't seen anything yet. Because the figures are, even to replace 10% of our current gas demand by fracked gas, to replace just 10% of it, would require over 100,000 wells being drilled up and down the country. And then we explained it to those MPs who still didn't quite get it, and said on average that means 164 wells in every single constituency. And you know what? There was suddenly just a little bit of quiet as people imagine 164 times what we've got here today. So my message to you is simple. Do not believe that you can't make a difference. Do not believe that this isn't making a difference. This is making a massive difference. Your presence today is hugely important. Greetings from the Green Party of Brighton and Hove, which has made Brighton and Hove a frack-free zone because they have the minority administration in Brighton and Hove. Greetings from them. Congratulations on what you're doing, and we are with you every step of the way. Thank you.
Very fantastic. I just want to say, this is ongoing. Quadrilla want to be here for probably at least 2 months. They want to be here for 2 months or more. They're applying for an extension. We want to be here. We need people. So you're very welcome to come back. Do come back. And if you want to come back in the week time, that'll be fantastic, because that's when they bring the lorries in. That's when we need to show that we don't want them. So if you want to take the day off and come back, great. Thank you.
Okay, people, we've got a surprise speaker who's come here all the way from Poland. He's an anti-fat campaigner. He's come here all the way from Poland. Please give it up for Rick!
Whoa, amazing. Yes, please film it. It's on. Just point it at me. I was here 3 weeks ago before this all started with a Polish farmer to show the film Drill Baby Drill. And the Polish farmer was amazed by what's going on here. He looked at the site, he looked at the Gurkhas who were here, and he said to me and to the people here that you guys don't have a chance. And he was very worried about the situation. In fact, we see that you have a chance. In Poland, there were hundreds of farmers protesting against Chevron at this very moment. Chevron re-invaded their area after promising not to drill there. In Poland, the strike is now 77 days old. That means farmers have been on their land for 77 days, blocking Chevron trucks from going on their land.
Right, so we have a proposal here because it looks like we have a few faces and it seems to be enough to make a ring around the whole site. So I propose to you, if you show your support with enough voices to just show me that you're up for it, that we make a ring of roses around the whole rig site. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm hearing you. Could you possibly show me a little bit more, maybe? So what we're going to do is we are going to each join hands around the whole site. We're going to join hands around this dirty rig over here, and we're going to be peaceful. We're just going to join hands with your neighbour, and that's it. I love you all. God bless.
Who's leading the way? Clockwise. Everyone. Clockwise. Okay, people, so the entrance is down there, just to the right of that white marquee down there, so we're going to slowly and musically make our way over there, and as a potent symbol of resistance, from all these people we have from all over the country, we're going to make a human chain. Look at that! Let's go! Some people go.